What is up, Spider Riders? Spider Dan here with Slingmods.com, and today we have our luggage rack for the Can-Am Spyder RT. If you're a Spyder RT owner, you're probably into those long summer rides, often with your favorite passenger. When traveling the open road for extended periods of time, storage space becomes a necessity because you can really only wear the same pair of underwear for so many days in a row. So I've been told. With that in mind, we partnered up with Chrome Accessories to bring you this trunk-mounted luggage rack for the Can-Am Spyder RT. These racks are available in classic chrome as well as a black satin finish. The rack itself measures in at 22.5 inches by 13.5 inches and uses rubber washers under each spacer to not only protect your bike's finish, but also ensure a watertight fit to the trunk lid. Now for the fun part. Let's kick it over to Brandon to show you how this is installed.
Start by test fitting the rack with the rubber caps still on the legs. Align it so it's centered. And place a small piece of tape next to each one of the legs. Now put the rack aside and place a larger piece of masking tape over each one of the spots you just marked. Check the positioning one more time with the rubber caps on. Then take those rubber caps off and double check to make sure the tape is still centered with each leg. And then mark the position of each leg with the marking pen. Now place the rack back on the trunk lid and make sure your marks are centered with the rack legs. And then using a center punch, tag the center of each of the 4 marks you made on the masking tape. Next, open the trunk lid and use a T20 Torx to remove the 6 screws that hold the outer trunk lid on. Then using a drill and 5/16 drill bit, only drill out the 2 bottom or 2 top holes first. Then before you drill out the other 2 holes, test fit the rack one more time, but this time mount up the 2 legs with spacers for the holes you just drilled. Now double check the other 2 marks you haven't drilled yet, and if they look slightly off-centered, I would recommend drawing a full circle around the legs onto the masking tape. Then take off the rack. Punch out the new center point. And then using the 5/16 drill bit, drill out the 2 remaining center marks. Next, you can remove the masking tape. And start assembling the rack to the panel by taking one of the screws and adding the tapered spacer, followed by a rubber washer. Then slide it through one of the bottom holes from the back side of the panel. Add another rubber washer and one more tapered spacer. Do the same for the other bottom hole. Add a tapered spacer to the screw, followed by a rubber washer. Slide it in from underneath. Add another rubber washer and a tapered spacer. And then repeat that same process for the top 2 holes. But this time slide on a thin flat spacer, then a rubber washer, slide it through the back side of the panel, add another rubber washer, and top it off with another thin flat spacer. Now carefully place the rack over each one of your screws, and one by one, slightly screw in each one of the legs, little by little, till each one is in. Before going through and tightening down each one while rotating the tapered spacers to match the angle of the lid, and making sure not to over tighten. And then finally, you can set the outer trunk lid back on the trunk door and reinstall the 6 screws.
So if adding some additional storage space to your Spyder RT is something that may interest you, head on over to slingmods.com today and pick up a luggage rack for yourself. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Spyder. I'm Spyder Dan. Until we meet again.